Hi everybody, Scott with 36 Bricks here, and today I want to show you guys how to part out an old discontinued Lego set. Today we're going to do the Green Grocer. Let's check it out. Okay, so as many of you know, there are a lot of sets that retire every single year, and we would love to get those sets. But as you guys know, if you guys try to go online and order those, whether it be from Amazon, Bricklink, Brickowl, or any of the eBay, any of the sites that you guys normally go to, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I mean, it's going to be a horrendous amount of money. So today, I want to show you guys how to part those sets out and build them per piece. Now, I will warn you, it does take a little bit of time, energy, effort, and some money, but in the long run, it's going to be far cheaper than going to, again, one of those sites like Amazon, Marketplace, eBay, Brickowl, Bricklink, etc. So stay tuned, guys. It is a little bit of a lengthy video, but it is well worth it. So let's check out the process. So today I want to show you all the different locations as to where you can just buy the Lego Green Grocer outright. Now, Lego Green Grocer is set number 10185. And if you go to Brickowl, Bricklink, and some of the other places, it's going to give you all the stats, just like you see here, of the set itself. Now, if you scroll down with Brickowl, it will show you that there is one for sale, and it's going for $1,750, okay? Now, for some, that is just outrageous, and for others, that's a steal. Just depends on your budget. So here on Brickowl, if you get it through this seller, you're looking at $1,750, not including tax, shipping, and other fees. You go to Bricklink, you can, it has a little bit more options. However, you really need to look at the details in the description as to what it may include or not include. As you can see from this first one, pieces complete, sorted by color, in great condition, may have some dust, no minifigures, instructions, or box. So that's telling you that you can buy this set, but again, there's no minifigures, there's no instructions, nor is there a box. And with this particular seller, they are saying that you have to pay for insurance and all that kind of fun stuff. So you got to really look at the details in the description and keep in mind where you're buying them from, because different locations, especially when it comes to shipping, has different shipping rates. So if you buy it from a seller in Canada, you might have to spend a little bit of extra money on different shipping rates, custom fees, all that kind of fun stuff, versus if you live in the United States, for example, and you buy from the United States, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. As you can see, because most of these are going to be used, some of them may be new, but for the most part, you will find used sets on here. They will be drastically cheaper, but keep in mind, again, there are stipulations as to why it's so cheap. There might be damage to the parts, there might be missing parts, again, missing minifigures, all that kind of fun stuff. If you go onto eBay, again, you have to really be careful when you shop at some of the sites, especially with eBay and Marketplace, because if the price is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true, meaning it might not be official Lego. There might be a lot of things wrong with it. stuff like that. So you got to really be careful as to what what you're going to find. And people like to word things differently, so it might say Lego compatible instead of Lego. And just because you see the word Lego doesn't necessarily mean it's Lego. Like I said, they could word it Lego compatible, meaning it's an off-brand or a counterfeit brand. So you got to be very careful. If you were to go to Amazon, again, you've got official sellers that they're not going to stake their reputation on different things. So you know it's going to be a good situation. But again, here it says collectible like new. So it's not necessarily new. It's like new. So again, you need to look at the information given and go from there. You also need to look at the ratings. You need to check out the person who's selling it, all that kind of fun stuff. Once you decide what way to go that is best for you, then you go ahead and start the process. Now, I will tell you that it is going to be way cheaper to buy the parts versus buying the pieces outright. Here I am on Bricklink. Now, what you're going to do is go to My Wanted List. Go ahead and click Part Out. It's going to make you sign in. And then it's going to give you the options as to putting it on a new wanted list. So you're going to go ahead and do that. And say we're going to say GG1 or GG1. There we go. Submit to edit. And then it's going to give you all of the options as far as deducting parts that you might already have. I usually, with this, I scroll down all the way to the bottom. It will also give you matches because there might not be the parts, or there might be parts that are no longer available, or they use a different part number. You're going to just go ahead and click Add to Wanted List. It's going to say Part Out Successful, and you're going to go to View GG1. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and just buy all of the parts as they are, so there's 301 individual lots, but there are over 2,200 pieces. So it's going to generate and find a list of people who have the majority of the items that you're looking for. Now again, it's going to be the same situation. You need 301 parts. This person here has all 301. Some people may not have all of them, so you got to really pay attention to that. You also got to pay attention to minimum buy. Sometimes there's outrageous minimum buy, sometimes they're not. But let's take a look and see if we were to go for this first seller, what it would cost for all the parts. As it's loading, okay, so there you go. So if you were to buy all the parts from this person, some of them may be used, some of them may be new, but overall you're going to spend, with this particular person, $3,151.52. Is that a deal? No, because you could easily go to even Amazon and spend $2,000. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Then I'm going to go to the next person. So this particular company, instead of $3,151, it's going to generate and give you a list. Now I think it only had 300 parts, or 300 of. Wait, matching lots found, 307. I'll have to take a look at that. But if you purchased all the parts from this person, it'd be $2,844.65. So I'm going to cancel that. We're going to keep going down the list to see kind of what they have to offer. So instead of 2,800, now this one is 3,200, and they don't even have all the parts. So again, you got to really look at all the different possibilities. If we just click, let's see, sort by unique lots, sort by, oh, we already have it. If you do item count or minimum buy, store name, you can do all of that, and then just go down the list. So as this showcases, in this aspect, it may or may not be cheaper. Because again, it's going to vary depending on the particular parts that you actually have. And I'm going to explain that process. So this kind of gives you an idea of how much they would cost if you were to buy the sets outright versus try to part them off via one seller. Now, some parts are more expensive than others, so you might have to use alternatives for those parts. I mean, if you find a part that is $20 a part, you may not want to get that part. And you can always select some parts and not get others, etc. So this kind of gives you an idea of prices and all that kind of fun stuff. So let me show you what I've done, and we can go from there.
Okay, everybody, so from those aspects, I will now turn to the list of parts that I generated on Bricklink for my wanted parts, and I will go through starting at the top of the list and working my way all the way down until I get through all of the list. I will search for all the parts that I'll need for the build and subtract those pieces that I have from the list on there. Now, you can just go ahead and subtract the part altogether, or if you don't need the number of, or if you don't have the number of parts that it requires, then you can actually modify the list in subtracting the number that you have. So it's very simple and easy. Depending on your organizational skills and how you have your parts set up, this process might be very easy or it might be very hard. When it comes to accessories, a lot of times you don't necessarily have every single piece they have, so it is always good to find other pieces that you might switch those out with. So for example, if you need 20 silver goblets but only have 10, maybe you can include 10 gold goblets or red goblets or whatever you might have. So you're going to go through and look through all your parts, pulling out all of the pieces that are on the list and then subtracting as you go. Now, you may come across a situation where you don't have the number of parts that you need and have to create those parts. What I typically do in that situation is, say for example, I need a 1x4 brick. I will go ahead and if I don't have the number they need, I will find 2x2 bricks or 1x2 bricks. That way I can go in and add two 1x2 bricks to add a single 1x4 brick. If it's a situation where I have more plates, I may use plates to use those, but it varies depending on the situation. Now, if I can't find the color and I can't find replacements in that color, at that point, I may switch the color altogether. You do have to be careful with this process because if you go ahead and switch out to a different color, you want to make sure that that color is either not seen or it doesn't clash or look bad in the build. You want to be consistent with the parts that you switch out. So for example, say you have a light green and you need a dark green, this bright lime green won't really look all that well. If you need a white part and you want to switch it to a yellow part or a red part, that's going to stand out quite a bit. So you want to make sure it's a light color. So if you need dark bluish gray, switch it out for a light bluish gray. If you need black, switch it out for a dark bluish gray. If you need tan, switch it out for a white, and so on. So it really just depends on the part. The other thing that you want to make sure that you consider is consistency in parts altogether. So for example, if it calls for a white window and all you have is yellow windows, well, you might think about switching that because it might stand out too much. Or say you need 5 white windows and all you have is 3 white windows, but then you have 2 yellow windows, you might consider switching all the windows to yellow or going ahead and ordering those parts for the white. The last thing you want to have on your build is 3 white windows and 3 red windows. because depending on the build, it won't look right. You also want to keep in consideration when thinking about what parts you want to order versus what parts you want to create. You want to think about the overall integrity of the build or look and feel of the build. So for example, when I built my old fishing store, I wanted to keep the sand green feel because it reminded me of a actual place that my grandfather would take me and my brother. So even though I didn't have the tan green or the sand green, those I chose not to compromise on, and I went ahead and ordered the pieces that I need. So you have to make that decision on if you are willing to compromise and switch out parts, if you are willing to compromise and switch out pieces or colors, or if you want to keep the integrity of the build or keep the build exactly how you want it and go from there. When looking for parts, you also want to consider what you currently have in your builds. What I mean by that is if you currently have a build that you know you're going to dismantle, you may start looking at that build and looking for the parts that you need. It will vary though, because sometimes you'll find parts where you might need a 1x10 brick, but all you have is 1x12 bricks. So even though, as we like to say, size doesn't matter, you might want to think about other sizes, because if you have a need for a 1x6, but all you have is a 1x4 and a 1x2 that connects, but at the same time, if you need a 1x6, but all you need is a 1x8, you might consider looking at ways to adjust the overall build so that it's more compatible to what you have. That way, at the end of the day, you're not spending so much on ordering parts. One of the drawbacks of ordering parts is finding a seller that has every single part that you need. Some or most sellers don't have the exact number that you need, or the exact pieces that you need. So the issue becomes, if you go with multiple sellers, you end up going with multiple shipping costs, which add up really quickly. It's easier to spend and get a seller that has all the pieces that you need, and it only costs $5 to ship, versus you find 5 sellers that have all your parts, and you have to spend $5 on each seller, equaling $25. So it adds up really quickly. You can see here, all I'm doing is adding 1x2 plates. 3 1x2 plates equals a 1x2 brick, and we're good to go. So thanks for hanging out with you guys. Hopefully this is helpful and it gets you closer to your build. And not only that, but it gets you closer to building at a much affordable rate or cost. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate to my channel, go to buymeacoffee.com/36bricks or check out my memberships. We'll see you next time on 36 Bricks.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick shout out and thank you to all my Patreon supporters. It means a lot that you've taken the time to support what I do and appreciate all the effort that I put into both the videos and the streams. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. For those of you that are not members, please check out patreon.com/36bricks. That's patreon.com/36brix, and check out the packages that you could take advantage of to get more content. Have a great day.
Ooh, this one's cool. Check this one out. I agree, that one's cool. This one's awesome. Ooh, I like this one. I just can't stop watching. Well, I like them all, and I'm gonna subscribe. Can you do the same? Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on 36 Bricks.